Okay, so first scramble, just like all the other solvers, my scrambles will be in the description. I see this like red, blue bar. There's a few things you can do with it. The first solution that like pops out to me on this scramble is the 3-move V on blue, like that, and then you get this spammy case, just like triple insert, which if I was doing the solve officially, that's the solution I would go for, but there are a few like more efficient ones. One thing that's kind of interesting, but I don't think is too good, is you can go like R prime and then cancel into hedge. And you know that this piece is going to end up here, so it's going to be solved, so you're going to get an insert, but then you would either have to rotate or do B moves. I am personally in the camp that doing these like B move finishes is not that bad, but a lot of people don't do that and it's pretty risky, and there is something even better on this scramble. I think the best solution here is on red. You can do an L prime, R prime, and then now you're in this situation where you see you can insert this piece down here like that, and then since this piece just is like a hedge away from being solved, and those are the first 3 moves of a hedge, it's going to end up being solved, and then you're just going to have a 4-move L3E. Okay, this is the next scramble. The scramble, definitely, the last one had quite a few good solutions. This one just really has one that I would be looking for, and then I'll show what I think is another okay solution, but there's really only one good one on this scramble because it's really obvious and it's super fast. It's like 1.2able. So tips here, I would do like that. That's pretty good tips. And then here I would do the green layer. So I would do U prime, R prime, L, and then you could do this R prime, but the first move of this just this nice last layer case is an R prime, so I can just cancel into an R. You could also try doing like an R2 prime cancel. Sometimes double move cancels are good, but in this situation it's not, so you can just do R and then cancel into the case and then U prime. That's a super short body. The only other thing that like I really looked at on this scramble, let me see if I even remember what the fuck it was. Oh yeah, so on yellow, you could do like B, R prime U, R prime L. That's a decent V. There's no reason to do it because it gives you bad Sochi, which is just not as good of a case, but that's also a solution that could be done like very Sub-2. Okay, this is the next scramble. I didn't look at the scramble that hard, but I found 2 solutions on green that are both pretty good. So the first one you can do is you can basically insert this yellow green edge with LU L prime and then cancel into a hedge. And you know that this piece is going to end up solved right here, so you're going to get a last 3 edges case, and then same as the last solve, you're going to have to use B moves, but since your hands are in this position, it's actually really easy to do. And I actually think that is a viable solution, but there is something better on green, in my opinion. So you can insert, if you start by inserting this blue edge like that, and then go straight into inserting this green edge, you can just cancel into a 3 cycle like that. So that solution after tips is re-gripless. So, whoa, my tripod just fell. That's so my bad. That solution's re-gripless. Actually, I think both of them are. Trying to look, like, you could also potentially do like that, but that's not very good. I think those 2 solutions on green are probably the best on this scramble. Yeah, you could also do something like that, but then you'd also have to do like B moves or rotate. So there's a lot of good ways to force L3E on this scramble, but one of them just is better than the others in my opinion. Usually with those scrambles where all the centers are solved and then the edges are solved, usually your game plan should just be what ways can I insert pieces so that I get an L3E, because you can almost always force one in situations like that. Okay, so I found the scramble looks pretty shit when you first look at it, but there are actually some really nice solutions on this. There's two really good ones that I want to show off. First one's on green. It's an ML4E solution. So whenever you have an edge that's like kind of looks like it can be inserted down there, you can always do that from the top like that, or you can do it from the top like that. And if you do the second way, you notice that this red edge, this red-green edge gets solved where it needs to be, and then it'll stay solved. So that's just a V, L, R, L, R prime. And then from here, you can just do U into ML4E with no AUF. Obviously, like the best ML4E case, so it's a pretty nice solution. I'm not scrambling tips again. I don't really give that much of a fuck. But then this is, I think, this solution's, this is the one I would do at home. The other one is the one I would do in comp because it's very safe and pretty much just as fast. This one's shorter move count, but a little more awkward in my opinion. So if you do, you can notice like, because of the orientations of this edge and this edge, when you insert this edge is going to be able to be solved without rotating. So if you're smart, you can get a really good V with this. So the way I would do that is I want to insert this edge so that this oriented edge is solved. And the way I can do that is U prime R U prime, which puts this edge in position to be inserted in a way that will solve this edge, and then puts this center in a way that it's going to be easy to match this edge with it once this edge is inserted. So I can do L, U, L prime, and that makes that block, and then U, and then just cancel into sledge. So that's a pretty good solution, but I think I might mess that one up. Okay, this is the next scramble. I found one pretty good solution. This is a type of scramble that would usually kind of annoy me because you have like this bar, but there's not a lot to go with it. Like this edge is flipped, which is never a good sign. This edge is flipped, a lot of flipped edges. So it's just, there's a bar, but it's kind of awkward to deal with. So the solution I would end up doing, and I didn't really find anything else that was close to as good as this, so I'm just gonna show this one, is I would do the blue V. So I would match up this piece down here with U prime L, and then from here it's a 3-move V, so B, R prime, L prime, and then you get an insert, which is pretty quick. Other things that like I kind of looked at was you can do like that long V there, or wait, that's not what I looked at. I mean, you could do that V, that's not what I meant to show though. What I meant to show was you could do it in that way, which forces like L3E and you can cancel in this case, but since it's 2-flip, it's not that good. If that would have forced a different L3E, that V would have been more viable, but yeah, that was scramble 5. Okay, this scramble's really easy. You see there's this like massive bar, and then there's a 2-move V. So obviously it's gonna be just a simple scramble. There's 2 solutions that I think are good here. I think the best solution is just like the most absolutely obvious one, is just doing the 1-move V, and then the first move of an alternate alg for this L4E is already done. So you can just cancel into the L4E, and that's, if the tips were better, that would be like a really, really good solve. And then the other solution, which is like a little more spammy, and I definitely consider this one if it was in comp, because I think it's almost as fast, and it's just a little more convenient for me, is this solution. You can do U prime, L prime, or R, U prime, R prime, and now you're 1 move away from a layer, but then it's the same case as earlier. You can just cancel into it like that, which is also pretty fast. Okay, this is the last scramble. This scramble is definitely the best one we've seen so far. There's a lot going on here. another like big bar, and then there's more bars. So yeah, this is just a good scramble. The first thing I would like look at doing here is you can basically, there's two really good ways to solve the yellow V from this angle. So the first one is by inserting this blue edge, and then U, R prime U, R to insert the green edge, and the cube is solved. There's also, you could also do it like from this angle, like that, basically the same moves. I probably prefer the first way. I think it's just a little nicer. And then, but I think the best solution on this scramble is actually on blue. This one's just the most convenient in my opinion. So you can do the V in 4 moves like that, but then it cancels into just an insert. So is the solution. I end it in a position like that and then drop it. And yeah, I mean, all the solutions on that scramble are like 1.1able. That one's just really good.
Walkthrough solves. Solve number 1. Okay, so first solve. Just the red V. It's a red V. You can do this. You can insert this and bring this up over here and get this, which is like really nice. It's just slash insert, and you can actually cancel into it like that. But like it's like really weird to execute if you're doing the cancel. But the tips are like really nice. So you can just do this simul, and then you can do until this move, and you can like regrip and do that. It's like pretty nice. Okay, another solution I would do is on red yellow. So you can actually insert this, and while inserting this, you'll move this piece over here, and it will give you L4E, no, L3E, which is like really nice. Plus this is like basically what we have here. So you can insert this and move this over here. So just are like really nice, and you can do this. You get a really nice L3E. Okay, another solution I saw, but I probably won't do it. It's over here. Where is it? Wait a minute. Give me a sec. Okay, it's on blue. You can do tips, and then you can do L to get this trigger. You move this over here, which is basically like a top first thing, I think. And the easy one, look, you can just flip this edge, and it'll be this case. So you can also like do a pre-AUF. You can do this to get different case. But you can do this to get a really nice case. Like, yeah. So there's like 3 good solutions that I can do, but the best one is probably this. It's very spammy, so yellow. Do that, yeah. Okay. Second solve. Second solve. You can see this pattern. It's basically just LBL. Yeah, this is basically the same as this. It's a LBL pattern. Okay, so with that information, if I can see an LBL pattern over here, it means I can do a layer with 4 moves on the bottom. So let's see on the bottom, red, you can do this insert like that, because it's basically just this, or you can do it as a hedge or this. Okay, now this LBL case isn't that good, so I probably won't do it. If you know, okay, I don't use TL4E, but if you know TL4E, you can do this. You can do B to get this case. I don't know TL4E, so I won't do that. So starting actually really good. Okay, I'll probably do the LBL solution, which is like really nice. I would just do like hedge, rotate up, and then cancel into the elk. Okay, but there's a much cooler solution that I think I found. It's doing the LBL. It's doing the LBL first before you solve the V. It's pretty nice. So you do tips like that. You do a pre-UF, and then you just do this case right here, and then like as you insert this, you can actually cancel into putting this right here, and it give a really nice, like a very low move count body. So the solution that I just showed is basically just this. It's like low. Okay, scramble's pretty. So there's a nice block over here. Okay, to be fair, I would just like tool like this. Okay, so there's like a really big block over here, and like you can actually do like different inserts. So you can move this up over here, and you see you can just insert like that, or you can actually just do this, insert like that, and this is like a really good case. But I wouldn't have known because I would have one look at I'm not that good yet. So another solution you can do is doing the same color V, but doing it in like a different how to say, a different angle. So it's like a different V. You do tips, you do B prime, and you can move this up over here, but then you leave you a shit case. Sorry for my language, a bad case. So what I would do is I'll just do this B, and then nice case. Wait, I messed it up. Fourth scramble. Okay, fourth scramble is pretty nice. I see a lot of nice V's. Yeah, I see a lot of nice V's. So you can obviously tell that there's a block here, and this is basically what I showed on the first solve. You can just move this here to solve the V, and it's really easy in one look. So for this, you can just do this, and like the V is solved. And you can actually do like different pre-UFs. You can do this or do this. Yeah, okay. If I would go for this solution, like I would do this. Actually no, I wouldn't do B moves. I would do this. Wait, no way. I would do this, and you get this really nice spammy case. So I almost found it. So yeah, it's a pretty nice solution. It's very spammy too. You can also insert this first, and it gives you with a really nice enough way cancel, because you get this case. and one of the L's I know you can cancel into it, and the tips are like really nice. So you can do this, and then yeah, like that. It's like also really spammy. This spam is like really nice. Okay, so there's other options. You can insert this, then insert this, but like wait. No, I'm delusional. I think that's the only good solution. Pretty sure. There's nothing really good anywhere else. Okay, so solution that I will just go for is probably just this. Tips and doing that. Okay, last solve. This is a really nice scramble. It's like a lot of blocks. First thing I'll see is just like insert V. Okay, it's just insert and then rotate up to do the case, to do like your L for E. It's pretty nice. You can also do this V. That gives you a back insert, which is like really nice. You can also do yellow. You can just so this is like a thing that I learned. It's like really helpful. If your piece is like over here, like facing you, and you have this down, you can actually move this down and move this up. And it also gives you a really nice LGE. It seems like all the solutions that I did all gives LGE. So it's like a lot of good solutions, but I don't know what to do. I think the solution I'll do is I'll do this. I'll do I'll do tips like that. I'll put this here. I'll move this up and I'll just do back insert. It's like pretty nice. Yeah, or I can do this tips. I'll just do this. With this insert, I'll move up like that. And then this nice case. You can also, this is like really finger tricky, but you can, it's also really weird. You can actually just do like you can actually move this back like that and insert, and then get like a OK case, an OK LGE. So that's fine, I guess. Pretty sure the best one is just doing this and doing a back insert. So yeah.
So this first scramble has a lot of blocks. So yeah, one solution that I see is like from this angle, you could do tips, you could do oil, then you can just do B prime to insert that, and then you could just do R to insert this block, and then you could just do a simple like L3 case, so like that. But there's another solution that I think is a little better, so it's from this angle. So you could just do you can do B, which like B, it puts this it's ready to be inserted within one move. So you could just, and then you could just do R prime, and then you do L prime to kind of insert this, and then you just get you can just cancel and do sledge like this. So yeah. So the second scramble, there's a block, but there's no easy continuations. If you try to continue a V with it, it's gonna be a lot more moves than you'd want. So I'm gonna look at another solution. So I found two nice solutions that I really like. So so it's from this angle. So I'm gonna try to insert this, but so if you do this, and then just insert like this piece like normally, and then like do U prime, and then B, and make the V, and then you'll get like a pretty bad like case like this one. But like if you do like a U before you insert it, you can get either a sledge case or like just a simple insert. So instead of doing this, we could just kind of do, we could just do like, you could just do like go down, and then you could do U, and then like insert it again, like insert it, it's like that, and just do B, and then you got this like easy sledge case, and you can just do sledge, or you could do this to skip AUF. I think I do the second one, but there's also like another thing that you could do on this scramble. So it's kind of the same idea, but instead of just doing like U, you could do U prime instead. So just L U prime, and then put this up, and then just kind of like insert it, and then you just get a simple like insert case like that. So this third scramble really has nothing going on, but something that I noticed quite quick is that there's like a pretty like good V solution. So you can just do like from this angle, you can just do tips R, and now we got like these blocks. You can do B, L, and then it's just like finished. So again, that's just tips and this, making these two blocks, put this up, B, and then it's just finished. So this scramble's like pretty good again. We got one block. So I think there's like two solutions that I do. I think maybe one. Yeah. So there's one that I just do because it's very, very like finger trickable. So you could just do U, which makes this block L prime. So, and then you could just insert this block without breaking this block by doing R, B, R prime. And then you just get like a simple insert case like this. So you could just do. So that's a pretty good solution. And this last scramble there's no like good like V's or blocks. So that's pretty like sad. But I found like two like solutions. They're not like good, but they're like solutions, I guess. So you could do something like, you could do like from this angle. So we got these two pieces, so we're going to be making the green V. So we could do R, you could do R prime, U, L, and that's just making this block. And then before we put the block in, we could just do U prime, R prime, and yeah, the V's done. But we got a student case, so you can notice you can just like cancel into it, like, so that finishes the student case. And that's like one solution that that's one solution that I see. So I see another one. It's the same like V solution. It's the same thing. So but there's just one thing. So before you like do anything, you just do a U prime before you do everything, and then it tips obviously, and then you do a U prime, R prime, U, L, and you make this block again, and then before you like put it in, you put this in too. But you get like a sledge case, so you could do that sledge case by just canceling like that, or instead you could just like do L, making the V, and then you could just sledge.
I'm gonna start my section off with EO, because that's how I one look. I'm gonna be referencing a crop ton. So EO on Pyra. Basically, this is a really good case to set up an example on, because these are bad edges for me, because they have like, they're connected like this, and you can't solve these edges like with an insert like one insert, you can solve them with two, but you can't solve them with one insert. You have to solve these with a sledge. But like edges like these, they can always be solved with inserts, because like one insert, because it's not connected to anything. It's insert, obviously. But yeah, that'll be pretty helpful in understanding how I one look. Okay, so this one's a pretty weird scramble because there's multiple ways you can do this. So first way you can do is on yellow, like this, and then if I can do the ML40 right. Okay, let's see. Let's try this again. Like that. But yeah, if I was actually paying attention, I would have been tracking EO of this edge and seeing it was flipped. But the other way to do this is like this. So this solution I think is probably better. It's a lot better. What am I saying? Basically, you track that when you take this out, it becomes a bad edge, and the other one is a good edge. I've done a lot of practice, so I just know that this is just good Nikki, I think. Good Nikki or good Sochi, I can't remember. But doing a crap ton of practice just taught me that, yeah, it'll be a good case. Okay. Next scramble. Okay. Immediately, the first thing I notice, this edge is going to be flipped. Not the best, which is whatever. But Elliott showed this trigger in one of his videos, that basically if you have a V like this, you can flip a certain edge you want for better solutions. So what I see right here is that if I do like a U prime L, it'll solve this. And then there's multiple ways I can do this. I don't like doing this ML4 insert like this, so I'll do a U for this to get a better insert. I definitely missed scramble. There we go. There's nothing really better. But basically, you can also, like, for example, for this case, if you don't like the finger tricks on a case, for Pure, it's really easy to just cancel and make it a better case. So, like, I can execute, like, this and this. Like, you can tell my execution on the second is a lot faster. But considering little things like that is pretty important. And then for one looking, yeah, obviously I just explained it. This piece is going to flip to here. It's going to be like an insert here, because I just know. But you can just cancel into a nicer case, which is pretty important because most of my solves rely on a lot of turning. So, okay, you can do something pretty neat here. So basically what I can do, what I can tell is that this edge is obviously going to be flipped because R prime B L is going to flip it, right? But I can also tell that I can just cancel in the L40 because this is going to be good edge, right? So I know it's going to be this L40, which, I mean, a lot of people can tell since this is already solved. You can just do R B U L and then insert. Finding little like time savers like that is pretty helpful. You can also do this in a different way. You can do this like this if you wanted to, which I think is a pretty cool angle and actually like just as good as the first angle I found. Yeah. But finding different angles that you're comfortable with and doing a lot of solves to practice on those angles is pretty important. Okay, next scramble. Okay, so here's a funny one. Well, funny. It's a nice solution. So basically what I can see is that if I insert green here, this red-green edge is going to solve. And then on top of that, it'll just give me a 3-cycle that I can just cancel into. And you can tell all of this basically from EO. So this is going to do an L prime, so it's going to be a bad edge. Because like your final move of your V will be an L prime, bringing this into the layer, or into the top like layer. And if you're gonna solve this red-green, you know it's just gonna be a 3 cycle. So like, my final solution would be like this, this, this. That's not how you cancel into 3 cycle. Yeah. Let's retry that. I think I used this on, I can't remember if it was my second. It was not my second. I think I used it on my first scramble with my PR average. It was something like it was not that. It was, what was it? Oh yeah, it was like this. So basically what it was solving like that, and then you can cancel an ML for you, except I didn't want to because I had safety. But knowing a ton of like V triggers is pretty useful because it makes it a lot easier to one look. Okay, so here you can see an example of like when you don't like have to use blocks. Like you can use blocks here, it just won't be as good. Basically, what you can do here, unless this solution is better. Yeah, that's obviously not better. Basically, what you can do here is, if I can do tips, because that's part of the Pyraminx. On red, you can notice that basically you can do a 3-move V like this, but like it breaks up this block, but I think it's still the best solution here because you can still cancel into Super Sledge. Basically, the way I want to look this, U prime, this piece goes here, it won't move for the rest of the V solution. U prime, B, this edge will come up because it's a bad edge, so these two will be like this, and I already know it's a Super Sledge. So I don't even need to track the last edge, I can just see, oh, which way is it going? You can also like one look Super Sledge / Super Hedge with the bottom edge. So basically you can track, is it going to be a good edge if I do an R prime or like whatever move? And basically from that you can tell if it's a bad edge here, it'll be Super Hedge. If it's a good edge here, it'll be Super Sledge. Learning little tricks like that is helpful. I've said that a lot, haven't I? But as you can tell, many of my solutions are just straightforward. Whatever V works. This is a tough one. Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna one look this one because I don't have the brain power to do it right now. Actually, no. I do. Okay. So basically, it's an R prime, L, U prime, and then like you get canceling in this case. So that was actually a pretty decent V I found. Basically, what you're gonna see is that this one's gonna go to the back and it's not gonna move. You're doing only one U prime the entire like V solution, and you can tell this one's bad because you can just bring it up in your head. Oh, like, oh, that's bad. And then this piece is just gonna stay in place, like, or both stay in place. It's gonna move. It moves in a really weird way. I know, but like you can basically say, oh, you have to track this in your head. This is really hard for me, but if you can do it, it's really helpful. So like you do an R prime in your head, doesn't affect this. An L, oh, okay, so the blue edge is here. U prime, the blue edge is here. R prime, the blue edge is here. And L prime, the blue edge is here. That's how I would track it because I just can't visualize fast enough. So yeah, final solution is like that. Many of my solutions / one looking tips will be helpful for people who have like aphantasia or like just can't visualize very well on Pyra. Because, yeah, no, I have definitely some part of it, but yeah, this one's pretty easy. There's multiple ways you can do it. You can do it on green. If you like this solution better, you can do that solution. There's no one right solution for everyone, so you can also see that this one is Super Sledge. So basically, one looking multiple angles and seeing which one is best for you, honestly, is like the best way you should do it if you're in competition and you can only one look one solution. It's fine as long as it's a decent solution. I think officially I'd probably just go for the super sledge solution, but definitely I think the better solution is to do it like this. I just like that more. So yeah, I think that was about 5 solves. I'll do one more just in case because I don't want to re-record. Oh, and this is pretty trash. Oh, bruh. Okay, so basically I do it from this angle. You can see that this edge is going to come down. This one's going to come up and become a good edge. But my V solution is R prime U prime B, and like it'll be that insert. So yeah.